Good morning, Hilton Baptist Church, and welcome to our devotion today, Revelation chapter 5, which gives us such a really important vision of Jesus, one that I think that we always need, and especially so at this time. And I just want to share it with you today. There's so much that can be said from Revelation chapter 5, but just these few words about Jesus for today. The first thing that we learn from this passage about Jesus is that he is the one who is able and worthy to open the scroll and to break the seals. We're going to say more about this tomorrow, but the scroll represents God's plan for the world. The God who is on the throne of the universe has a plan for our world, and it's contained in that scroll. It's sealed in, and only Jesus is able and available to open that scroll and to reveal God's purposes and God's plans. I'll say more about that tomorrow. Secondly, we learn that he's the Lion. He's the Lion of the tribe of Judah, which is an Old Testament prophecy all the way back in Genesis chapter 49 concerning the Messiah, concerning Jesus. He's also described as the root of David, which is a prophecy from Isaiah's day, that he would be a root coming up from the stump of Jesse. He is God's Messiah. He is the Lion. He is the king of the jungle, if you like. I've so enjoyed watching some of the Wild Earth programs on YouTube where we are taken into the bush, the South African bush, to look for animals. And the lions are obviously one of the most spectacular. Jesus is the Lion of Judah, the King of Israel, the one who will cause the events of the world to change and who will bring them back to God. Here's the Lion. And he will do a great job, because one of the things we're told in Isaiah 11 is that as a result of his work, the Lion will sit down with the Lamb. Thirdly, and this I think is the most important of all, the Lion of the tribe of Judah looks like a lamb that has been slain. The great Lion, the one you expect to roar God's power and plans into effect, actually looks like a lamb. And if you look at the detail, a little lamb who has been slain. There's a bit more detail about this little lamb who's been slain. He has 7 eyes. 7 is the perfect number. Eyes represent wisdom. So he might be a lamb that has been slain, but he has perfect wisdom. Also, 7 horns, perfect power. He might look like a lamb that has been slain, but he has the perfect power of God associated with him. And so this Lion of Judah, who looks like a lamb that's been slain, has the wisdom and strength of God associated with him. But it defies all belief, doesn't it? Who would believe that that is how God would fulfill his purposes in the world? But 1 Corinthians chapter 1 reminds us that God's foolishness is greater than man's wisdom, and God's weakness is greater than man's power. And so here we see that in action. Fourth and finally, because the Lion has become a lamb that has been slain, people from every tribe, every language, every people group, and every nation have been purchased for God, have been purchased for God, have been won and made part of his kingdom. This is how God's power has been worked out. This is how God's wisdom has come into being. The great Messiah, the Lion of God, has become a lamb who's been slain so that you and I can be around the throne of heaven. And so it's no wonder that this great chapter concludes with everybody from all heaven and all earth just bowing down in worship and saying to this Lamb, you are worthy. You are worthy to receive all glory and honor and power. Not just because you created, as we learned yesterday, but because you have saved us. You have rescued us. You have won us for God. Let's worship this great Jesus Christ, our Lord, today. Amen.